Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us here on Radio Faith, episode 35. And I have special guest, my brother,
What's up?
Josh Originales.
It's
There is a total of four of us. He is the third in the line. I'm the second and the better looking of all four. I'm thankful to have Josh on. Hey, and if you're watching us live today, thank you so much, because that means that you chose not to watch the presidential debate of the two old guys arguing with each other, but you chose to come and watch these two handsome young guys talk to each other
not our
about whatever. So, Josh, bro, thanks for being on the show. I appreciate
thank
it.
you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. So obviously I know a lot about you, but for those who are watching that don't know who you are, other than the fact that you're my brother, tell them a little bit about yourself.
So Josh Originalis. And man, so I am a media specialist at Waller ISD, so First School District. And just doing what I love, photography, film, and some like graphic design work. I don't know what else. I used to play the drums. I mean, it still never leaves you, but it's not something like I do as much anymore. I love to draw. I don't know.
I should have got a picture. I didn't even think about that. I should have got a picture of us when we were in WOC. That's so. Oh man, I should do it. So Josh talked about playing the drums. Josh and I were in a band together back in 2010, I think 2010 through 2013. Was that 3 years, right? Man, yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, so we were in a rapcore band. If anybody knows what rapcore is, think was like Korn, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, where it's rock and rap combined together. So it was a Christian rapcore band called Walk of Christianity, also known as WOC. And Josh was the drummer and I was the lead guitarist. So 2010, drumming, and now you're a media specialist. Tell us a little bit about how you got into photography, why, and what's the passion behind it.
How I got into photography, it really just started as a hobby. I've always been like a creative. So like our parents, dad was always painting or, fixing something. So he's very hands-on, creative. Mom was doing like little crafts here and there. So it definitely runs in the family. And so I've always had that, that creativity in me. And I just picked up the camera and started taking pictures, enjoyed it, and really found like it's more than just like snapping and just like taking a picture. You're more of capturing a moment, and you're telling a story of that moment. Mm-hmm. So that's like the inspiration behind like the photography. And then I got into film. What really got me into film was doing a 48-hour film festival. If you know what that is. If you don't know what that is, you have to make a short film in 48 hours. So it's literally filming, editing, everything in 2 days. I was the editor, one of the editors, and I didn't sleep at all. So
been there before.
But it was good because that was my first experience in a like real production like setting. You had a director, your like producer, your PAs, camera op. We even had like a script supervisor that just stood there with the script and said, "Hey, we're supposed to be doing this right now." Like, "Oh, hey, it's taking too long." So it was just like being in that atmosphere. I was like, man, this is awesome. Like I would really love to do this more. And really just like photography, film is telling a story, and also giving like a voice to people that don't have it. Mm-hmm. So, people want to be heard, so you can tell their story for them. So that's definitely like the inspiration behind it.
Man, I just thought about you were talking about your experience with film. Our experience in film started, I think, in 2004 when we were No Chili. Do we have that on YouTube anywhere?
I don't think we have it on YouTube. I know we have it somewhere.
I can't believe I didn't think about that. So back when we were in high school, we had a band called No Chili before YouTube ever existed. And we would record. We use our friend Sammy. He had a camcorder, and he and our other friend Boney and other neighborhood guys would come over to the house, and we would make videos. We'd make music videos where we were lip syncing. They were the dumbest things in the world. We would have been
good.
yeah.
Here
So that
the time.
there we go. We did. Man, I gotta find those videos. So next time, whenever you're on, or maybe we could have all the old crew on and
So
watch those videos.
I forgot what song it was, but we had the camera set up on a tripod. It was like a shot. So all of us were just like dancing around, doing whatever. And I was like, no, like I don't want to do this. I want to grab the camera. So I literally like I left. Like you see me just leave and go off. I grabbed the camera off the tripod. So I'm like handheld. And then I get on the computer chair and like I get in the middle of y'all. And
yeah.
Like the POV vert, and I was like, man, this is dope. This is a dope shot. And then after like I saw it, I was like, oh, this is awesome. So that definitely like just like us doing that, even though it was like super like dumb and just having fun, that definitely sparked some too.
Oh man, I gotta find those. I have them here at the house. They're Sammy gave me those videos or DVD format, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to put them on YouTube so we can all watch them together. Maybe I'll get Sammy and Boney and everybody else, Mark and Creep on here. That was so good. So we were talking about some home videos that we did before YouTube existed. One that we did was Fear Factor. We recreated a Fear Factor scene. For those of you who aren't familiar with Fear Factor, it's a 1990s, late 1990s, early 2000s show where you had to do these challenges that are supposed to cause fear. And if you went through these challenges, then you were the winner. So Josh, myself, my our other brothers, and some guys in the neighborhood, we did our own Fear Factor. Do you remember what three challenges we did?
I do. I remember one of them was we locked somebody in the trunk of a car, and I think we gave all we did was we gave them a screwdriver, and it's like pitch black in there, and then you had like
the camera in there.
Yeah, they had the camera in there too.
The night vision.
And then we found this like ball cage, like this gym ball cage.
The basketballs, yeah. You put the basketballs
in
there.
And I don't even know how we got it, but we put somebody in there, and then we locked it with a combination lock, and we had ropes tied to it. So we're literally swinging this thing in the middle of the road.
In the middle of the road.
And it's just like tumbling over with somebody in there, and you have to like stick your hand out of the cage and try to get out as fast as possible.
Yeah. The first challenge on that Fear Factor, maybe it was the last one. I don't know, it was the last one where we the last two contestants that were in the final round, they went into our friend Sammy's Buick. It was the Buick, right?
Yeah.
And they were in there in the middle of the summer, super hot, and then we popped a whole bunch of what are they called? Stink bombs. We popped a whole bunch of stink bombs in this hot car, and it was to see who could last the longest inside the car, and whoever, of course, lasted the longest won. But yeah, don't try that at home.
Yeah.
Don't try that at home. It was very dumb, but we survived, thankfully. I remember the video of Samuel, our youngest brother, when we put him in the trunk of the car. Again, don't try this at home. He was in the trunk of the car. The challenge was to get out of the trunk of the car with only using a screwdriver while the camera is facing you in night vision, and he's in there for what, 10 minutes or something?
He's in there for a long time, and we're out like we gotta get him out of there. Like, what's going on?
I mean, you would think as brothers we would have got him out like after the first 2 minutes, but we're waiting like why is he moving? But he's in there, and then we look at the camera, and he fell asleep in the trunk. He just gave up.
He just gave up, like, oh, whatever.
I gotta find that video, man. It's gonna be so funny. So we did some dumb stuff. So that's the history of videography in our family. Obviously, your skills have progressed since then. You're working with Aspire Warehouse Music as one of their like freelance photographers and videographers, and you're working for a district. What district is it? School district?
Waller.
So you're one of their media specialists at Waller. And you also have your own account on Instagram where people can follow you. It's at A Call to Create, right? Yes, if you want to check out Josh's stuff, it's go to Instagram, go to IG, and type in a call to create, and you'll find out you'll find his photography stuff. Before you did that, in between, the home video stuff, and then where you're at now, you spent a summer out in California, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that summer you spent out in California, what you did there, what you learned, and how that helped you move forward.
So that was a really big step for me to do that. I was in a job that was it was honestly just a job. It wasn't something I wanted to do, and like I just got comfortable in there, So I finally made a decision, like, okay, like this isn't what I want to do. And even people that I was working with, like, dude, like you don't need to be here. Like, why are you here? Like, there's more for you. So it was me finally like making that decision and just like stepping out. I was like, okay, like this summer, like I'm gonna find something. It doesn't matter like where it is. Like if I have to go out of state or something, like I just want to do something that I enjoy doing that's gonna push me, take that step.
Yeah.
So I was online looking for stuff, and I found this. It's actually a big Christian camp out in California called Forest Home. Shout out Forest Home. It was an awesome place. So yeah, I was a media lead for one of their traveling groups. Well, no, actually, it was a media lead for the on-site camp. So I applied for it. They got back with me. We had like a Zoom call interview. It went great. It was like, and they wanted me to come out there. And then, they gave me the specifics of everything and what I'd be doing. So I was originally going to be on the main camp. I was originally going to be on the main campgrounds, and a few weeks like before I was about to leave to go over there, they switched me. They're like, hey, we think you would be a better fit for our traveling group. So the traveling group was like a group of 15, 20, and we would go out to different city each week and put on a week-long camp for the kids that couldn't make it out. So we would partner with different churches, some schools, and we would stay in host homes. I think that was like the biggest, like the funnest part was like staying in host homes, like you just meeting new people and going to different churches. So seeing all like walks of life. So I was a media lead for one of those traveling groups, and it was honestly like amazing, just to be able to do that kind of like mission work in that way.
Yeah.
And making like great friends that I still talk to today. And what it helped me as far as like video and photography was learning how to manage my time, because each week it was Sunday, we go to their church, we meet the people. Monday through Friday, we have camp. So literally Monday through Friday, I'm taking pictures, I'm shooting video. And Friday, I have to have a video made to show the parents for Parents' Day. Wow. So it was really like I'm having to work. Yeah, I'm having to work, but I'm also having to edit at the same time. Yeah. So it was really, really good for me to help me learn how to prioritize, not really like get trigger happy and like take all these pictures and then have to skim through. It's like, okay, what do I need? Just get great shots, manage my time as far as like editing. So it was a really great experience, and I mean, I wouldn't have changed it. Coming back, it was a big step of faith, like going out there in the first place, because I quit my job. I went out there and not really knowing like what I was coming back to. So that was definitely a big step, and it was just like really just trusting God, like, hey, you're gonna have something for me when I come back. It was rough, like just when I came back, it was a lot of like freelance work to get by. But really, like, it helped me realize like I had a whole different perspective, because I could have been like, man, like I figured, like I was praying, I was like trusting God that you would have something for me, like you would have something lined up. Like I stepped out in faith. But for me, it was like, okay, you are literally like you're taking everything away from me, so I can like lean on you. For a long time, I wasn't. For a long time, like I even stopped like tithing for a while. So for me, when I was like when I was struggling, it was like, hey, like you didn't know what to do with it, so
Yeah.
you know you're not gonna have anything. So like, okay, what now? So it was more like, okay, like I got this. Just really trusting God, and then just putting Him first, and He came through, and just doors started opening up, and I started working with one of the pastors from Anchor Bend, Pastor Brian. Shout out to Mighty Moose, helping them out and doing like some marketing for them, and marketing for some of the small businesses that they partner with and do screen printing for. So that was a big blessing. I did that for a year, and from there, honestly, like how I got this job that I'm in now, it was just like, honestly, me. I remember it was late at night. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I was on my computer working. I was checking my emails, and I would get emails from Indeed. So I just like looked through. I was like, okay, like what's out there? I checked it, and I saw the opening for the school. I looked at it. I was like, man, like I do all this. Like I can do all this. So I was like, okay, like let me just apply. So I sent in my application, and literally the next morning, I woke up to an email saying, hey, I would love to like make some time to talk to you. I'm like, dang, that was quick. So that was a big blessing and an answered prayer for sure. And God really had my back on that one too, because I remember a few weeks into my new job, I was having a conversation with my boss. I forgot about what, but she's like, you almost like, I almost didn't even look at your application. I was like, what did I do wrong?
Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, say it again. You said the boss said she almost didn't look at your application.
Yeah, so she said like, I almost didn't look at your application. I was like what? Like why? She's like, well, if you remember, she's like, go look back at the job application. Like it said, of course, like apply, send in a video highlight. So I had to send in a video highlight for her, to look at my work.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, like I look back, I was like, no, I sent it. Like I know I sent it to you. So I looked back, I literally like stood there in her office, like looking back. I was like, I sent it, and I'm scrolling. I like stop, I freeze. I'm like, oh, I literally like put one like extra letter or missed one letter in her email, so it never sent to her.
Oh wow. That's
so
crazy.
She never saw the video, but she looked, because I had like website links and YouTube links to my stuff, so she was able to see it. I was like, wait, so like, why did you even look at it? She's like, I don't know, there was just something about you that caught my eye, and I took a chance on you. I was like, man, like honestly, like that really hit me. I was like, man, I'm grateful, like that you even, because you didn't have to, because I didn't go through like the whole process. So
that's so good. That's crazy. And so you stepped into this position, was it late at the end of last year or at the beginning of this year?
Beginning of this year.
Yeah, so it came in, I mean, right before everything went crazy with COVID and the pandemic. I want to ask you what that has been like, and going and stepping into a new job, a new position, and then automatically the pandemic hits here in the States. But before that question, we're talking about transition and stepping into like a new season there, and God really working on you. What is, in all that, is there any way you can summarize what is like not the one thing, but I guess the main thing that that you've learned about yourself and about God through that process?
Through the whole transition process?
Yeah. Or just like when you said in that season where you weren't tithing, so it felt like God took a lot of your financial means away so that you could refocus on Him and then realign. With that, it threaded into all that. What is something that you've learned about yourself and then learned about God in that process?
Man, honestly, just like being grateful for the little things. Because through that tough time, like any job I would get, no matter how small, like I was grateful. But even now, like I enjoy like the little things, and just like really thanking God. Because if you thank Him for the little things, and he's gonna bless you like with the bigger things, you know, if you can't handle.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, with the whole tithing thing, it was like really like basic like Christian principles, just like put God first, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I wasn't doing. So my focus really wasn't on him at the time. So just really like putting God first and putting my focus in him, and um, taking time to just to thank him even through the hard times. So that really helped me. And now with this new job, like I if I ever like catch myself like wanting to complain about something, I'm like nah, hold on, bro. Like you have nothing to complain about. You're I'm grateful, I'm blessed. When I had like so much work going on, and like my coworkers are like, you know, this is gonna be tough, you know, like this is a lot. He's like, I'm so like, they'll apologize sometimes. I'm like, no, like don't even apologize. Like there's nothing to apologize for. Like I'm grateful to be here, and I honestly do love where I work and the people I'm around.
That's good, man. That's so good. Being grateful for the small things, especially as you mentioned, if you had gone through a season in your life where God was blessing you with so much, and as you said that there was a season where you really weren't grateful for those things, but then God took them away, and that you refocus on Him. That's so good. So let's talk about what did I say? Oh, the pandemic. What was the transition like from going into a new job, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's a pandemic. What was that like for you?
Yeah, man, that was crazy. So I started like mid-January in the new job. Um, I was getting settled in for a few months, meeting everybody, really learning like the Waller family and everybody there who I'm working with. And then spring break came, so I was like excited, like okay, like this is like because when you work for the school district, you know when your times like your vacation is. So I was like, okay, man, like spring break is coming. I'm gonna have this week-long vacation. You know, it's gonna be great. Then we started like the week before we started getting this like news about this virus that's happening. So that week before spring break was us doing some like PR work for just in case like stuff happened, getting that ready. And sure enough, you know, it just it hit and everything shut down. We went on spring break and never came back. Like, yeah, I started working from home. I think from spring break till I think July. July was probably like the end of July was the first time I actually stepped foot back into the office.
Wow.
So I was working from home that whole time. I mean, honestly, like it was nice. Like it was nice just to get up, like not have to dress up and
For the Zoom calls, just have the top on.
yeah, just roll over and start working on my computer. You know, no, it was nice. I really spent that time. Like really staying productive. Like I honestly like the first week I got comfortable, and it was like okay, like I can get up like 8 or whatever, you know, because that's the time I'm supposed to be at work, and then work till 4:30. You know, just kind of stick with the time.
Yeah.
But like I would kind of start sleeping in, just like checking my emails, like whatever. But I was like, man, like no, like I gotta stay consistent because this isn't gonna last. Like I didn't know how long it was gonna last. He's like, so I can't really change it up. So I really stayed consistent like with my time and getting up early, and I started running a lot. So I was like running in the morning, working out in the evening. So really just trying to keep that consistency and make the best of my time and not get comfortable in that transition of like working from home.
Yeah. You talk about comfort. You mentioned, you know, getting up and running. Aside, along with the photography, videography, and all the media specialists, the stuff that you specialize in within the media industry, you also like to work out, and then you also like to fight. And there was a time when you were training MMA. So, talking about comfort and the growth you've talked about, share a little bit about how that factors into your growth, and how that has helped develop your character as far as health and then the training and fighting?
How like fitness and MMA has helped?
Yeah, how it's helped with your development of being okay in discomfort and then using that to grow.
Oh yeah. So I mean, MMA definitely, like, everything about it is uncomfortable. You're spending like 3 hours at the gym and you're getting beat up and you're getting like worked, and it's just like you drenched in sweat and doing things that like you're just like working your body to the point where you just like you're done.
Yeah.
You're laying on the mat and like you don't want to move. But it's really pushing through that. And like when it hurts, you push a little more, so that next time you're setting that bar higher and higher and higher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, MMA like training was great. Not only just to, there's a saying, it says you learn to fight so that you don't have to. So it's not like, man, I'm gonna go train just so I can be like the toughest guy. It's more like, it's more just like a discipline. It's a martial art, so it's an art. So it's definitely about like discipline. You learn discipline. You learn like patience. You learn so many different things doing these different skills, like mentally and physically. It just like pushes you. I just enjoy like fitness and working out. Just for that.
My bad. I was asking, you spent was it about a year or 2 years training? Was it boxing or MMA?
It was MMA. It was about 3 years. Yeah.
3 years. And how many fights did you end up going into?
I did like 3 boxing fights. And like fights, was probably like 3 or 4.
3 or 4. And so you were training here here in one of the local gyms. Oh, what was that? I know in those 3 years you were set on going into MMA and going that route. What was the thing that helped you make a shift, or why did you make a shift? And what did you learn in that shift?
Yeah, man, I still enjoy it. I mean, if I could, I mean, I would still go and fight. And no, it was just honestly I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. Like where I was, like what I wanted to do, I wasn't doing. So that was like more of like this discouraging. So I just pulled away from it and just, I still worked out, but it just wasn't MMA. I wasn't training.
So I'm sorry, when you said you weren't getting anywhere, do you mean getting anywhere like as far as professionally, or getting anywhere as far as developing within the skill set of the sport and the art?
A little bit of both. More like professionally. Like there wasn't, like I had nobody there to help me like get where I wanted to be.
Okay, gotcha.
And I definitely learned a lot, but I feel like I could have learned more within that time period. And like I transitioned out, and I kept working out, still kept in shape. It was just like I wasn't training anymore. Now I'm back into it, but more so just with Samuel, our brother, doing it with him because we both love to do it, and it's like just us pushing each other.
Yeah,
just for fun.
I get that. There wasn't anyone, I guess, to really help you reach your goals, and coached you through that, which is something that we've discussed. And like right now, you're doing one because you and Samuel love to do it, and it's a workout, and it's just fun for you to do. So how, if there's anybody that's considering going into that sport and they're in the same spot that you were, what kind of words of encouragement would you give them?
Like they're in the spot as far as like not being in the right place.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely like find the right people. Find the right people that are gonna see your potential, but also see where you want to be, see where you want to go, and that are gonna like invest in you to take you where you want to go, for sure. Gotcha. Yeah, it's all about putting yourself around the right people.
That's good. Yeah, teamwork. Would you say that while you enjoy MMA and fighting and wrestling and all that entails, you enjoy that, but then photography, videography is a I guess a greater passion, and that's why you went that route instead of professionally with MMA.
Yeah, for sure. It like MMA is a sport, so it's harder to get into. Not not everybody makes it.
Yeah.
Um, so, but definitely like film and photography was more of a passion, and even while I was training, I was helping like promote the gym I was going to. So still using my skills as I was training. Um, but no, yeah, it was definitely more of a passion for me just to do like photography and film, because I mean I really enjoy telling people stories and really like helping people see or hear things that they maybe wouldn't have otherwise. So yeah.
So a little bit more on MMA. I know, I think I've sparred with you twice, and I've lost both times. You and Samuel bought me what is it called, a gi for what is it? Is that for what is that, judo, jiu-jitsu? What is that?
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Brazilian. Yeah. So y'all bought me a gi. I think I put it on twice. I got I got I got beat up twice. It was both times, which thank you for that. But I've heard a lot of those from people who are into jiu-jitsu or just martial arts in general. They talk about, like, as you mentioned, it is just being uncomfortable the whole time, and how if you have to be in a state of discomfort in order to grow. So the art itself,
Yeah.
the sport of MMA, what have you learned about yourself in that process?
Really like pushing myself further than I thought I could, because you are really pushing your body limit and beyond. And for me, it was like I'd never done anything like that before, and like being at that gym was the first time I was actually like sparring with people. So it's just getting over that fear and that nervousness of like getting punched in the face, then getting kicked, all that, and getting beat up. Because I've never been in an actual fight, so um, the first time me actually like fighting was like sparring. So it was just kind of getting over that fear and the anxiousness of fighting and getting hit. And as far as like the fitness aspect, it's pushing your body to that limit and going even more, so that next time you can push even further and even harder. So it's definitely like helped me mentally. Even now, when I just before this, I went for a 3 mile run.
Oh,
So
la di da, showing off.
so I
Well,
mean,
I ate a taco before I did this, and it was I actually ate 2 tacos, and it was delicious.
so it's like mentally like being aware and like pushing yourself, like your body wants to give up, but you're telling yourself like, no, like I got this.
I feel the same way when I eat those tacos. Like, no, but I gotta finish these 2 tacos.
It's like, no, I can get one more.
I go, yeah. So I get that you're running, or you're just exercising. You know who was it? David Goggins? Is that his name? David Goggins, the ultra athlete guy who's like insane and does crazy things with his body.
I'm
You know what I'm
not.
talking about?
No.
Oh, that's surprising. I figured you would know who he is. I think it's Dave Goggins or David Goggins. He's a ex-Navy SEAL, but he talks about how if you think you're ready to give up, you still got about 40% left.
Mm.
You still got about 40% left. You just got to tap into it to tell your mind to be quiet, and then just push yourself. And that's something our older brother Robert Jr. He told me when he got back from boot camp from the Marines. I went I went running with him right after he went back from boot camp, and I was ready to give up in the run, and he's doing the whole boot camp thing. He's like, no, go 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 go. So yeah, that whole 40% and pushing yourself is so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
It helps, like you said, not only with the physical conditioning, but the mental conditioning that you need to move forward and be successful in whatever it is that you have going. So talking about moving forward, what's something that you're moving towards in this year? We're at the last half of the year. 2020 has been crazy for everybody. What is something maybe that you're working on or you're looking forward to or getting ready for 2021?
Really just I've noticed I spend a lot of time just kind of like overworking
Mhm.
and not really like prioritizing my time. So I'm doing a lot of little things, but not doing them great. You know, not really
Mm.
putting my time into it.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to prioritize and do less, but do more in that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just like more about quality than quantity.
Mm.
So I definitely have. I want to get back into just like creating not only with photography and film, but like getting back into drawing. And I have a few designs for like shirts and stuff like that. And really just like stuff with a message. Put stuff out there with the message, a positive message, and
Yeah.
yeah, because we live in a crazy world right now, and it's just a lot of division and hate. So definitely bring like peace, love.
Yeah, and that's you and the crew worked on a video last month for what was it? It was, I know it was for a video against the
Oh,
child.
coalition to combat human
There you
trafficking.
go. Thank you. Coalition to Combat Human Trafficking. Can you talk a little bit about that video, how you and the team got together, the process of making it, and then why y'all went forward in making that?
Well, it was definitely something. I mean, it's definitely a hot topic now in like the media and everything. Um, but really, just learning more about it. I mean, it's going on in our world. It's it's huge, and people don't realize it. People don't realize how
Mhm.
how bad it is. Um, so it's definitely something that I wanted to do.
Mhm.
And Mandy
Hold on.
Suarez from our church, she she her and her husband Nico are part of the outreach team, the leading the outreach team at Anchor Bin. So we have partnered with Coalition to Combat Human Trafficking before and done some stuff with them. And she reached out to me about making a video with them to kind of promote like more awareness of what's going
Yeah.
on, but also promote a online webinar that they were having. So
Okay.
we met up with the lady, had some coffee, and just talked out ideas, what they do and what they're doing in Texas. So we sat down with her and we kind of just like said, hey, this is what we want to do, and she's like, man, that's awesome. We would love that. So we got some people together from Anchorman, from our church, some friends, um, and I said, hey, like this is what we want to do. If you are in, if you want to help us out, and they were all in. We came up with a script and shot it, and really, I mean, really try to just like put the message out there of what's going on in the world and
Yeah.
how it can help. Yeah.
So you got with the team at Anchor Ben, and y'all made this video. It's a great video. Is it on Coalition to Combat Human Trafficking? Is it on their social media platform? Is that something where they have? I know it's on yours, your professional one.
I believe they shared it on their Facebook. Yes.
Okay, cool. So it's a group of people that have gotten together that are combating the human trafficking. Like you said, it's something that's been in the news lately. I mean, I think it was last month or 2 weeks ago they talked about I think 32 children found
Yeah.
in one area, which is crazy. And that compared to the thousands of people or children that are kidnapped, abducted throughout, I mean, even in a given month, let alone a year. And these people are coming together to make awareness of what's going on. And then you and the team at Anchor Ben, y'all got together to make this video. Talk a little bit about how the process of going from the vision and idea of one person, and then the team that it takes to make that vision a reality, and what you've learned through that process.
Um, this was a smaller project, so it was a smaller team, but the the process was really kind of just getting the idea out there to um, to the people, and really saying, hey, like this is what we want to do. This is how we want to do it. If you're okay with it, give us ideas and feedback on what you want to see, because this is about you and more about this. So what message do we need to send out? So just like taking notes, really getting a story of like, okay, like what are we going to say? What's really going to draw people in and get them more aware and get them interested in seeing this.
Yeah.
So Mandy did a great job of getting everybody together, reaching out to people like, hey, this is what we're doing. Would you love to be involved? And she was really great at getting everybody together, putting the team together and said, okay, like, hey, this day, is everybody free? Yes. So we all, set the day, go. I mean, it was literally me. Like I knew what I wanted it to look like. So it was very more like a more dramatic feel. So there wasn't much production to it, just like one light. High contrast, dark shadows. And it was a small team, but I mean, Mandy and Nico did a great job of bringing everybody together and sharing the vision of what we wanted to do. And it was just kind of my part to piece it all together and bring it together visually.
That's good. You said it was the vision that you had, and I know a lot of what a creative individual experiences and goes through, or in general with anyone, anything that you experience and go through technically, skill wise, you bring it to whatever next project you're working on. You talked about we talked about the videos that we did as a kid, what not to do, and then we talked about the experience you had in California working on those tight deadlines, and then you were able to do this great video bringing awareness to a very serious subject. What are some areas or videos of that inspire you that you've learned from, whether they be short or small independent films or bigger cinematic videos? What are some videos that you lean to, or maybe even directors that you lean to that to implement some of their skills, and how do you put that into your work?
Oh man, that's a lot.
Big question.
Yeah,
Or maybe,
it is a big question.
Maybe some videos that have, or videos that you've seen recently that you were really impressed. I mean, it's one thing when you watch a movie and you're just doing it for entertainment, but as we've talked about plenty of times, when you've actually been in a production, a studio, you've gone through the process, you look at a video or movie differently and you appreciate it on a different level. So what's a video or movie that you've seen recently that you just like, man, that is wow, and it's inspired you?
The last movie I saw when the theaters opened back up was, I believe it's called Words Written on Bathroom Walls. It's about a kid, a high school kid, suffering with schizophrenia, I believe. So it's basically you seeing what he sees in his head and you hearing what he hears in his head. So the story of it was great, and the visuals of it were really great, and how they bring you into his world and show you what people are dealing with and how it's a serious issue. And he makes a comment that when people have cancer, people just flock to them and they're there for them. They're willing to help them. He's like, but with schizophrenia, he's like, you're crazy.
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah. You're just crazy. Like, just kind of like push you to the side. So that really stuck with me, because I mean, it's true. That's just kind of like the society we live in. But really having that visual and of what they go through is really eye-opening, in the way they told his story and his struggle, not only with his parents, but with friends, with trying to find like a significant other, like every struggle in life that he goes through with this illness. It was a really great movie. So yeah, that was the last one.
That's good. I haven't seen that. I want to look into it. Would you say it was called Words Written on Restroom Walls?
Bathroom Walls.
Words Written on Bathroom Walls. That's good. Yeah, I mean that I didn't think about that. How you said that whenever you find out that someone has cancer, people flock to them. How can I help? but with something like schizophrenia or the like, people tend to avoid them, even though that they're suffering just in a different
Yeah.
way. And that's really good. So another conversation that we've talked about is, being of Christian faith, understanding that God is a creator, and that in at some ways all people are creative, but to use the label creative, how do you go about using your art and the skill that God has blessed you with to move forward the gospel mission, or just keep God focused in whatever you do? We talked earlier at the beginning of the conversation how you weren't, there was a season where you weren't focused on God, and now that you're focusing God, how does that weave in to the work that you're doing now?
Yeah. So I would honestly say, like, I haven't been focused enough
Mm.
in my work and what I'm doing. Um, I can definitely do a lot more, and I definitely have these ideas. It's just like pulling the trigger and doing them. But I enjoy volunteering at my church, Anchor Bend, in their production, and really being a part of setting stages and doing visuals, capturing those moments throughout the Sundays, and special events. So that's the way I utilize, and really any way I can help um, artistically, creatively in there. And whenever I have friends that reach out and they have stuff that they want to do. Recently, we were with Aspire. Shout out Aspire. Um, we went out to Galveston to shoot a music video for an up and coming Christian artist. So it was more like, hey man, we're gonna do this. Would you love to be a part of it? I was like, yeah. I mean, I would love to. It's just kind of like building that community and out to share the message, share that gospel.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I hear that you have a cameo in that video where you're doing some theatrics.
Yeah. He wanted me to do a backflip, so I was like, yeah, let's do it.
I was talking to Esau about that. I was like, I know Josh is doing a backflip because I saw the behind the scenes footage. I was like, well, how is that going into the story of the video? I don't know.
I thought the same thing.
It's like, I don't know. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I was like, even if you don't use it, just send it to me so I can have it.
That's funny. It's like that one episode of SNL. We need more cowbell. We need more backflips. Josh, do a backflip right here. Just walk in the scene and do a backflip.
I thought the same. I was like, hey, let's just do it. Let's have some fun.
So you just made me think about, the video is going to feature you doing a backflip off a pier in Galveston. One of the things that you love to do is travel, and I think last month you were in Florida.
Yeah.
And then you were, I don't know, you're always somewhere else, making me feel jealous of your Instagram account or whatever. So tell me just about that, the joy that you have of traveling, and how that, I don't know, like, I guess how that fuels you, because you just come back with different experiences. And I in talking with you after these trips you go on, just a different not a different, but a deeper appreciation for life. So to talk about a little about just traveling.
Yeah, I mean, there's honestly just so much to see out there. I want to see it all, because it's all like God's creation. And like when you go to these places, like you're in awe of like who he is and what he's done. And then you realize how small you are in this world. And then that just goes back to like don't worry. Like, I take care of like the birds in the sky, and the fish in the sea. Like, I got you. Like, you were created in my image. Like, I created all this like beauty around you, but I created you like specifically. So yeah, man, I enjoy just seeing all these beautiful places, and just I try to not go and I try to not go and just like go for the sake of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get some nice pictures and get some good stuff for my Instagram. It's more like I want to be in this moment and and have this like in my head, not on my phone.
Oh, that's
Um,
good.
yeah, so it's kind of just being in that moment and like just enjoying it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I know one of the things you enjoy doing is hiking,
Yeah,
and that's something that I don't enjoy doing. I mean, if anyone has ever seen me, you know I'm not the most physically fit person, but whatever. So let's see the places that you've been that I haven't been. You've been to the Grand Canyon.
yeah.
You've gone. Did you go to Big Ben when you on your way to California?
No, no, I haven't. I
Okay.
I was in Fort Davis State Park, which is out in that
Okay.
area, but it was a few hours away.
So you went to Fort Davis, Grand Canyon. You took some cool pictures there. You head to California. Instead of flying, you drove through there. You went through the whole desert and everything, and all the places that you've traveled. Top three. What are your top three places that you've enjoyed that you want to go back?
Man, I haven't been to enough, honestly.
Well,
Uh,
la di da, Josh.
I gotta go out of the country. That's the goal. The Grand Canyon is definitely top pick. Because when I went, we literally got there as the sun was setting, so we got to see like the sunset on the Grand Canyon, which was like
Nice,
amazing. It was beautiful.
nice.
Um, Second, man, I would have to say like San Francisco, like Bay Area. It was really beautiful just to see like be in the mountains. Um, you're on the coast and like man, it's just beautiful out there. Um,
Interesting.
three, three. I was in man, it was hot. I was in New Mexico and I went it was called White Sands National Monument Park, I believe. And literally in the
Say it
middle of
again.
New Mexico,
You broke up. Say it
White
again.
Sand,
Okay.
White Sands National Monument, I believe.
Okay.
So it's like literally in the middle of New Mexico, and you're surrounded like it's flat. You see mountains in the horizon, and you literally come up to this area that has nothing. It's just like white sand dunes, like in the middle of nowhere. So it's just like so out of place, but you can go in there, and it was literally I think like 110 degrees that day,
Oh
and
man.
I went I went out there, and literally I took my sandals off and put my feet in the sand, and it was so cold. Like it was cool to the touch. Like you can
Wow.
lay in it, sit in it, whatever. So you're literally like you go from this flat lands and mountains in the horizon to like you're in like in the middle of this white desert, and like it just goes for miles and you can't see anything. So that was really like a sight to see. That was really beautiful.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you traveling so much because I use you as my traveling agent. Whenever I need to go somewhere, I was like, "Hey, send me some good. Was it called Airbnb or whatever?
Airbnb,
Send
yeah.
yeah Airbnb. There it goes. I don't know. I don't even know what it's called. You hook me up. You send me some links, and then I trust your judgment. Even though the last place you sent me to almost got eaten by a fox, but whatever. Uh,
Okay, cottage.
yeah, the cottage. We went to the cottage. Sarah and I went to the cottage for our anniversary, 10-year anniversary, and the first morning we wake up, we're like, oh, it's really nice. Hey, let's go outside. Let's just watch the sunrise outside. We open the door. It's cold because it's in the middle of like a valley. Um, so we go outside, we grab a blanket, we sit on the bench, and we're watching the sunrise above the hills out there in hill country in Texas. And we see this thing run across, the acreage, and oh, it's a fox. Cool. And it's looking at us. And then we see another fox run behind it. It's the mama fox. And you're like, oh, this is so cool. And then we hear it make this weird sound. Like, okay, let's go back inside. So we know what the fox says, and it's not what the song says that it says. Yeah, we went back inside. That was a crazy weekend, but man, it was beautiful, and I really appreciate you hooking us up with that
Yeah,
that contact.
that's one thing about Texas too that I've learned. Like when I'm now that I'm like looking at different areas, is Texas has so many like hidden gems that you can go to
Yeah,
that people don't even know about. So that's one thing I want to do is just like travel Texas for sure.
Yep. You can travel Texas on the hiking, and I will travel Texas to find out where all the barbecue spots are at.
Where all the tacos are.
All the tacos. I love tacos. I might go eat one after this. I don't know. Well, hey man, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Like I said, next time I'll make sure to have our home videos uploaded so we can just talk about them. Maybe I'll get Samuel and everybody else on so we can do some commentary on our home videos, because that would be funny.
Reaction videos to our own videos.
Oh man, I can't believe mom and dad let us do that stuff, but whatever.
Well, the thing about it is, it was like always like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, no, they never woke up.
Yep, yeah, it's crazy.
3 o'clock in the morning. It's not like we were quiet. We were really loud.
Remember the House of the Dead video we did with?
Oh man, I totally forgot about that. Oh, but let's see, we got 4 minutes left. Yeah, so House of the Dead. If anyone remembers that game, it was a horror POV game, like was it GoldenEye, where you're holding the gun and first person shooter, and you're walking through a haunted house killing zombies. So we had the genius idea. Like 3 o'clock in the morning, we got a Nerf gun or something, and we put the camera behind the Nerf gun, and we're walking around, and whoever wasn't the shooter was hiding in the house and pretending to be zombies, and we were shooting with Nerf guns while our parents were asleep. 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was, man, I gotta find these videos.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, man. Thank you for reminding me of that. I'm pretty sure it's in that collection I got. I'm gonna go look for it.
That was one of the best. Yeah.
So good. No, hey, thanks again for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to everything that you're doing with your photography, your videography, and all the stories you're working on, and what you're doing with Aspire, the Coalition to Combat Human Trafficking. It's all great, man. So blessings on you and the ministry that you have and the work that God has put in your hands.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, have a good night, and we'll talk to you. Oh, wait. I'm going to be the first to tell you happy birthday, even though right now is not your birthday. It's like in 2 days. So I was going to tell you happy birthday right now.
Appreciate it.
It's in 2 days or so. Yeah. All right, man. Love you. Talk to you later.
Man, thank you.